Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time and I've missed you so much. My name's Claude Massey, and if you haven't had a chance to see any of my videos before, go over to my channel. If you want, click subscribe, hit thumbs up on this one. But today I want to talk with you about what it is like living in Israel in 2025. Let's get into it. Now, one of the most important things I want you to understand about living in Israel is it's not all rainbows. I'm not going to try to tell you it's a fantastic place to live and you should move here immediately, but I will not tell you you should never move here. Let me explain a little bit about the three favorite things that I enjoy about living in Israel, and feel free to comment in the section below if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them, or just reach out to me directly. You can do that on my website, claudemasseyconsulting.org. Now, my first thing that I love the most about living in Israel is the weather. As you can see behind me, the weather is absolutely fantastic. It almost never rains in Israel, and the weather is always perfect for going to the beach. So if you like going to the beach, if you like outdoors, meaning you like to spend time outside of your house, then Israel could be a phenomenal place for you. Now, what can you do outside? Besides going to the beach, you can go to the desert, you can go to the north of the country where there's woods. There's all types of climates and areas that you can visit anytime you want because the weather is very good. So it's very nice if you're an outdoorsy type of person, which I happen to be. Now, the second thing that I enjoy about Israel, now keep in mind, I'm from the United States. I'm from Los Angeles originally. I've lived in Israel for about 16 years now. And one of the big differences from the United States to Israel, in my opinion, is the closeness of the family unit. Meaning, in Israel, the family unit is extremely tight. Usually, you're going to get together with your family every Friday, and there's a tremendous support network of how families operate, no matter the size, in Israel. In the US, it's not always like that. You might have heard about how typically family members are not as close as they could be, especially if you were to talk about the upper middle class, typical American society. You might see that parents are opening the door when children turn 18 and saying, good luck on things, right? It's not at all like this in Israel. In Israel, when you turn 18, you actually go to the army. So that's a huge difference. There is a mandatory military service in Israel for at least 2 years if you're a female and 3 years if you're a male. So, something you should keep in mind, of course, if you ever think about Israel or move to Israel or just want to visit, is a majority of the population have served in the armed forces. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means a lot of things, but I'm not going to get into any of that today. I'm not going to spend time on that. What does it mean when you have a entire population who have went through military service? It means A, B, C, and D, and we'll touch it on another time. But what I will tell you is when you hit 18, your family doesn't kick you out. They actually feel sad because you're about to join the army and things could get dangerous for you, right? So they're very cautious and they definitely don't want the distance. They want to keep you just as close as ever, from what I've discovered and from what I've seen as an outsider. Something else that I love about Israel is the uniqueness of the Dead Sea and the ancient city of Jerusalem. These are two things that are unfathomably special. And no matter where you are, when you are, I highly recommend you come to Israel, at least for a visit if you can, to visit the Dead Sea. Why? Because it's the lowest place in the earth. Yes, obviously. The water, you can float in the water, you can't sink, obviously. But there's a certain untangible energy when you go by this place, when you go by the body of water known as the Dead Sea. It's so beautiful, it's so peaceful, and it's so historic that if you're like me, you might believe that there is an energy possessed there. And that energy is absolutely special. And I would highly, highly suggest for all human beings to taste this energy. And as I was saying, Jerusalem. Now, I'm not going to tell you why Jerusalem is special. You already know. It's basically the home of the Jewish faith, the Christian faith, and it's one of the most special locations in the Muslim religion. So, aside from the historic value of it, there's a tremendous energy in that area as well. And that energy is very, very, very different than how the Dead Sea energy is. And even though they're about an hour and a half away from each other, the energies are incredibly different. Jerusalem is a city, and the ancient city of Jerusalem is actually a walled city. So it's an ancient wall, and inside of this, it's about 2 square mile wall, are these very, very narrow corridors with ancient stone walkways with people who live above these ancient stone walkways with stores lining the streets. And I'm not going to tell you who lived in Jerusalem. You all know all of the names. But I will tell you that if you can ever come to visit this place, you will see that it is incredibly special. And you might feel some energy there. Now, the energy depends on your mood, I suppose, because there has been a tremendous amount of wars and conflict in this place. But there's also been a tremendous amount of love and spirituality in the same place. So it's very, very heavy and it's very special. These are three things that I like about Israel. There are three things that I don't like about Israel, and I suppose I should make that video the next time you and I speak. But that being said, I hope you learned a thing or two. If you have a comment, let me know. And other than that, I'll see you the next time.